Cave Creatures, what up? Derek here, Shawn Anthony. He's going to be running the cinematography department and Bailout. It's really a big step for us at Cave House. This will be the first time we're outsourcing the camera, and it's something that is probably a little overdue, and we couldn't be happier to have Shawn join the project. Thanks,
Thanks, Derek.
Shawn.
I appreciate it, man. I'm happy to be on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's a great script, great team.
Thanks.
Very
Glad to have
excited
you
about.
part of it. Shawn has done a number of his own projects. You've at least done what, 10 or so, a dozen cinematography
About
in
a,
that
about a dozen.
role.
Yeah, about a dozen cinematography projects. So from 6 feature films and several short films. So yeah, I've had a good opportunity to do a lot of things and learn a lot. And again, that's why I'm looking forward to this particular project. Always learn something. It's always fun things to do. And dark and moody is my thing, and this project definitely has that in it. So I'm very excited about it.
For sure. Yeah, I think our themes certainly align from the stories that I've seen you tell,
Yeah,
and projects that you've been a part of. There's always some element of supernatural, kind of dark and gothic and mysterious. So that's definitely what we have in store for Bailout. So I think this is going to be a fun partnership.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm struck with the old ghost stories. I love good stories, and looking at Succubi Scry, and then coming to Bailout, it's like a good storyline that just kind of just feels right. It feels like an old ghost story in some ways, yet with a more supernatural twist to it. Almost Hitchcocky, which I love. So that's kind of cool. But you did a great job with the writing. I was very impressed with the writing,
Thank
and
you. I
that was good.
appreciate
And
that.
yeah, I just the artwork, man. Wow, I caught the interview with the artist, and I was just like, man, he did a great job on that.
Yeah,
And you were kidding. There's something you like look at, and there's something each time you can see something new,
he
which gives
really
me help.
knocked it out of the
Yeah,
park. And
yeah, he did.
I wish we had a little bit longer with EM. Our connection was a little spotty, but
Yeah,
yeah, he really brought it. And yeah, there's just so much detail to that thing, and it just wasn't enough time to really do it justice. And that's one of the other areas aside from cinematography that I felt like we needed to branch out a little bit more with the illustration and the poster design of, a lot of people just probably never going to see the film. That's just kind of the nature of doing independent short film. The like we were talking before we started recording, that how saturated the market is and everything. Even just general product placement, right? You go in to buy, some craft beer or something. The label is what's going to grab your attention for something you've never tried before. It's like, oh, okay, I like this art. I could drink that beer probably. It seems like kind of what I'm looking for.
right.
So hopefully, similar effect with grabbing people's attention. Yeah, I'm kind of in the mood for some kind of demonic story here with this bailout creature. That seems fitting. So
Yeah. Well, I think the poster definitely will resonate with the kind of people that you want to see the film. You know,
exactly, exactly.
there are those folks that they're just you have something demonic in a film, they're attracted to it. It's like, yeah, let's just watch that. So kind of the Conjuring feels all over. Like, oh, let's go see that. And I think that's going to be good. But yeah, I mean, he definitely gave me some shoes to fill when it comes to doing the cinematography because I don't want the poster out doing the cinematography, so I have to really have my A game. So
Right
it's
on.
good stuff.
Well, we got Daniel Oates working on the costume, and that's starting to come together. So I think that'll.
Yeah, Daniel's a talented FX guy, so that should be great. Be really great. Um,
So
and then, of course, you just tried for the first time. You're doing this whole Indiegogo campaign
yes,
for the
it's the
film.
first time. It was nerve wracking leading up to it. Kind of finding a rhythm now with releasing some of these videos, and um, it's got a little momentum behind it now. So yeah, it's first time, but it's going pretty well. So if you're watching, thank you to those who have supported. Um,
Absolutely.
and there's still about
And
a
I think
month left.
Yeah, it gives people something to be a part of. You know, right now, especially with the way everybody's been separated, it's a cool way to come together and be a part of something special. And then when you see the film, you can be like, I helped make that happen. You know, and that's always a cool part about that. And the perks, you know, the perks are great, but it's always neat to just be able to say I was a part of that, especially when it comes to film. I really like seeing their name up there, so it's kind of neat, kind of neat.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm glad it's going successfully, and I hope it keeps doing that. And your fan base is fantastic. Obviously, you have a lot of support coming in, and I'm sure a lot of those are people that saw Succubi Scry and loved that film, which was, like I said, a phenomenal film in my opinion. So, again, big shoes to fill. I want to make sure this is
Really
fantastic because you always
with the
look
fundraiser,
forward.
just wanted a way for people to get involved that were interested, and just to be transparent about what it is that we're doing and producing. Um, we're not doing any secret perks, or 15 days in, and guy jumps out of the corner and you know offers you a handful of balloons or something like that. There's no hidden message here, or no surprises, no over the top frills. It's just kind of what you see is what you get. If you're interested in being a part, we'd love to have you along for the journey, and just adding a little bit of transparency to what it is we're doing here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's great. But what
So you we talked a little bit about your cinematography, but you're a man of many talents. I see you do a lot of still photography as well, a lot of modeling photography. Um,
I do.
you talk for a second just about some of the Gothic magazine stuff you're doing that seems to be doing very
Sure.
well.
Well, it all started with illusion. You know, I did magic for 25 years professionally out in Las Vegas and all over the world. And when you do magic, you're literally as you're performing, everything is done in frames. So you have to think every time if someone were to take a picture, how would it look? What would I look like right now? How does it all play? So basically, I did what a lot of other illusionists did. Orson Welles was an illusionist before he became a filmmaker. Harry Houdini also did film. So I kind of transitioned to that film, um, and then started doing photography at the same time. So I was trying to hone my craft with lighting, because photography is all about lighting. So I wanted to, and again, so was illusion. So I wanted to kind of bring that skill into it and see what I could do with just a standard camera to start with. And that started taking off. I did headshots for a couple people, and then a lot of other people wanted headshots. And then I started getting models contacting me and wanting me to shoot them as models. So I started doing that. And this led to saying, okay, the pandemic's on. What can I do, to just kind of, I guess, make a little bit of money, have a little fun, and still be creative? So I started two magazines, Gothic Culture Magazine and Cosplay Society Magazine. And I mean, it's crazy. It's gone great. We've had some of the top models around the world have done, shoots with us. Have been in our magazines. So it's just growing and growing and growing. And we have a lot of advertisers now that are in there who are doing really well from the magazine. So it's cool, man. Something new every day. I get to meet new models. I get to see different styles all the time. So not only is my photography in there, but I have other photographers who I get to talk to and say, okay, let's talk about this style. I really like the way you shot this. And so they'll send me lighting schematics on how they lit it. And that's awesome because it teaches you. And then when you translate that to film, all of a sudden now you've got a little bit of a bigger array, because a lot of filmmakers just think, okay, we're doing a shoot, we're doing a shot here, we're doing a close up, or we're doing a two shot. Just shoot. But you want to make it interesting. You want to make it compelling. If there's a salt shaker on that table, that salt shaker better have a story. What's the story behind the salt shaker? So as a cinematographer, I want everything in that frame to tell a story, so that the audience can put something together. They can deconstruct it later on and say, well, what was really going on? What was the significance of this? What was the significance of that? That way, if the actor wants to play with it, they can add to that significance, and it makes that part makes the salt shaker a character now. So if the character's putting salt on them, licking the salt, all of a sudden that becomes a transition between that character and the next character, and now you have something new to talk about. So I don't know. I think that doing still photography has taught me that, though, to make everything in a shot count, and that's how I do my cinematography. So I want it all to tell stories for the audience.
Absolutely, that was a great story of the illusion magic coming into photography and cinematography, and how it all blends together. Um, I didn't realize you had just started that Gothic magazine just at the start of the
It's been
pandemic.
it'll be a year in October, so
Really?
it's been yeah. So and I'm sure you've seen how fast it grew.
Yeah, I just
I had
assumed it had been around a little bit longer.
millions of followers. I was happy because we went from, having 12 followers in October to now having over close to 4,000 now. And that's a pretty big step without paying for any. I don't pay for followers. So everybody we have they're organic. And it's just through our marketing that we do.
Right.
Um, so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And it's
And you
it's a
have a
high quality magazine.
print magazine, right? It's not just a.
Yes. It's not just digital. Yeah, it's print. And we ship all over. We have orders come from the Middle East, Russia, the UK, Canada, of course, the United States. So we've shipped a lot of different places, and we've become quite popular. When we're definitely well known for the quality that we have. And surprisingly, it's a one man show. I have done well. I shouldn't say that. Let me take that back. When I started, it was a one man show. Now I have one writer that writes for me. Her name is Yoshi, and she's from the UK, so she'll contribute articles. But the design, the layout, and everything else, I do all that on my own. So, it takes up the better part of the end of my month is
Yeah.
usually done with the magazine.
Okay.
And then, as you know, I'm a writer, so I won't say what I write for, but I can't. I'm under NDA, but I write full time screenwriter. So I keep busy. I keep busy. But when you talk to me about this project, I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, After Sucky by Scry, I really wanted to work with you anyway because I'd heard so many good things about you and your company, and I didn't know how to get in or how I would work with you. But I knew I either wanted you to come on one of my films or for me to get on one of your films. So when you approached me, it was a no brainer. That's why I said yes right away. I was like, yeah, I'll work it out. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out and I'll get out there because I was just impressed with Sucky by Scry. Especially being your first kind of film that you guys did together as a film. I know you had other things going on with your company, but I was just like, man, this is impressive for a first time. Um, so yeah, you knocked it out of the park. And like I told you earlier, I own that film now, so I'm delighted to have that. And if you don't own it, get it. It's a good film.
Really appreciate that. Very, very
Yeah,
kind of you to say that. And, I've had a mutual feeling the way we met through Jessica Felice. And I know she had relayed the message that you were interested in being a part of Succubi Scribe. But since it was our first thing, and we had actually been burned by um, cinematographer in the past. You might have heard me
yeah,
talk about it, where we were trying to map up some green screening and stuff, and um, we were like, oh, we're just going to composite some stuff over there, and the scene's going to work like this, and they didn't really understand the vision, and they kind of just quit, and they got sick. They literally like went outside and started throwing up, and I was like, dude, chill out. It's not that big of a deal.
right.
And since then we've always been kind of hesitant. Like I said, this is the first time we've really outsourced it since that time. And we lit every 27 shots in Succubi Scry basically with just floodlights, and then between Justin and Joe and myself a little bit, rotoscoped each one of those frames and all those 27 shots that comprise the 4 minute and 35-second film of Succubi Scry to relight it in post, and it gives it a lot of dimension to be able to do that and layer everything. But at the same time, we just added like 4 weeks of post work to a 4 minute film.
Yeah. I not only what do I do cinematography, I edit and stuff like that, and I also do color grading. And it's so neat to see a film after you've color graded it and you've added things, and whether using After Effects or whatever, added lighting here, added
Yeah,
lighting there. Stranger Things is a good example. The television series Stranger Things,
yeah,
because like when they shoot it flat, it's just a flat, and then all of a sudden you're seeing all these added things going on. And I think again, it's attractive about Psyche by Scry. There were so many little added details that people, whether they paid attention to it or not, the brazier what was lit, all that stuff is just fantastic. It looked natural, it didn't look fake, and that's a big thing. The mirror effect was fantastic. So, yeah, I just was like, I got to work with these guys. I just have to. So, but I understand that. You can't go through the independent world and not get burned. And sometimes you think that you're the one being burned. Sometimes other people feel it's them that's gotten burned. One way or the other, someone gets burned half the time. So it's good to just find a team you can work with, and that's what I did. I started finding people that were great to work with all the time. That's why Jessica's in almost every one of my films. She's a phenomenal actress. She's a great promoter, and it's like, okay, I'll work with you. Hell yeah, I'll go work with you. So that's how you do it. And then you've got a good team starting, so we can get a good cinematographer in there to do you justice. And you're like, wow, he's a hard worker. He does a good job. Maybe use me again. We can make some more magic.
I
So
hope so. And really, we're all doing our own thing full time. This is just something we do for fun. We put a lot of work
yeah,
into it, to make it done right. So, you know, having good chemistry and everybody being on the same page and working towards the same vision, um,
yeah,
it goes a long way. And otherwise, it starts to become, too much like work. And why are you
work
doing it?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, even if it is work, everyone on the set should be blessed that they're on a set. I mean, how many people dreamed of making movies when they were kids? And it's like, when you're on set, I don't care what kind of bad day you're having, you better not bring it there, because that's a place to have fun. It really is. It's a place to toy around, have a good time. I mean, I'll sit here with a 25-pound camera on my shoulder, and I'll be having a good day every day. I'm like, whatever, it's fun. 5 pounds, that's great. I can soak it later on the night, and I'll soak it back, whatever. Let's just have a good time with it. Get some
Yeah.
good shots in.
Well, let me
I just love
rephrase that, I guess, a little bit. Like, everybody, brings their level of professionalism to their piece of
yeah,
the project. But, just thinking about normal, like, corporate workforce
yeah,
where you kind of just sometimes have to deal with people's personalities. And it's like, okay, well, they're part of the team. I don't really click with this person. So I'll just, pass my piece off to them. And hopefully I don't really have to engage with them much. You don't want that
right.
kind of vibe on set or any part of the production.
Because like we were saying earlier, is really everybody plays a big part in what we do, and communication is key when it comes to film. It's key. I need to just be able to talk to the sound guy about where his boom is at, and how it's sounding, and just like you would, I have to know, what my frame is. There's so many things that have to be discussed, and it's just good to have a good team that understands that, speaks the language, and just has a good time doing it. Be like, oh, that's a great idea, or yeah, yeah, that sounds like it would work. Let's try it. You want to be upside down? Cool. We can hold your feet. Whatever. It'd be a lot of fun. Oh, it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. And just reading the script, I'm really enthused about this film because it has a lot of really fun aspects to it. Camera work wise, there's a lot of really cool things that we can use the camera for to help tell this story the way you want to. So, very excited about that.
Well, again, really appreciate that. As somebody who's done a fair share of writing, makes their living from writing, appreciate the kind words. Um, and looking forward to working with you and, you know, building a more cohesive team going forward and see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the people it's going to benefit is you and the fans. The better crews you have, the better films you put out, the better your fans are going to feel about your films. And I think you're on a right track right now. And I think just building it up and making better ones and better ones and better ones are going to be fantastic for you. So,
Yeah,
it's
this is,
Rodriguez. The best book I read was by Robert Rodriguez called Rebel Without a Crew,
yeah,
and it was all about keeping it small, And that's why when I first started doing films, I had these big crews, these giant people, and I had people ask me, why did you reduce your crew size so much? Because you find you don't need that drama, and you find that the things you can do on your own, you'll do on your own, and the things that you can't do on your own, you want to get people that are like-minded to do it with you, and that way you don't have the only drama we should have on sets is by the actors, and that's when they're in front of the camera, So that's the
right,
drama I want to see.
right.
And I think that was a great book. It influenced me a lot. And seeing your smaller crew size for Second by Sky, which didn't require a giant crew, but I mean, I know some people that put 30 people on a shoot like that. And watching the efficiency at which you worked at and the final product, it just says a lot about you guys and your company and your work ethic. So like I said, I'm very honored to be on this project, and I can't wait to participate and show you my work ethic as well.
Yeah, I got that same book on my shelf, and it's a great guideline. I haven't quite got to the point of selling my body for to science for financing films yet, but it's always in the back of my
Yeah.
mind.
Right, right. He's a smart man, smart man. Columbia got him on that the first one, El Mariachi, and that was shot with a tape recorder.
Right,
It's a little science tape recorder. It's crazy. It's
right.
crazy. Now look at him. He's got his own network. So it's fantastic. But for people that want to do that for a living, that's great. For people who want to have film and just make it fun and just do that on the weekend or whatever they want to do it, that's great too. The point is we're making art, and it's going to affect somebody. That's what art does. It's completely subjective. Some people love it, some people hate it. Just don't not have an opinion on it. You know what I mean? So love it or hate it, at least she got something out of it.
Absolutely.
So I hope people contribute. I really do. I hope they become a part of this because, like I said, just from looking at the script guys, this is going to be a great film. Derek's a great director, as you've probably seen through Succubi's Cry. Some great actors involved, a great crew. So I'm just really excited, and I hope you can be part of it.
Thanks, Shawn. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. And
Yeah,
we'll plug all the socials and way to get in touch with Shawn and follow his work and in the description. So thanks again.
thanks, Derek.
Peace.
Appreciate it, man. Cheers.